This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, Simar. Welcome
Hello, sir.
again.
Thanks,
So,
sir.
Simar, some of the questions which I have for this session on behalf of
Okay,
scholars.
okay.
See, what happens when a scholar join any PhD program? The guide asks that to go and do the review, but the scholar is
Okay.
totally clueless that what exactly to do, how to go for the review. So, if you can guide us on that, that will be really helpful.
Okay. Sir, please repeat the question.
My question is what exactly we need to do in the review? Because most
Okay,
of the time we are told that go and review how to
okay,
start, how to conceptualize, how to plan. That will be really
okay,
helpful.
okay. Every when someone asks you or someone your guide asks you to do a review, uh, first thing I think which you should do, uh, you should obviously you should have an idea on which you are going to do review. But first, see some good journals like International Journal of Management Reviews have many good reviews. Many some classical articles are there. International Journal of Cleaner Production has many bibliometric articles are there. International Journal of Production Economics have many good bibliometric and SLRs are there. Academy of Management has many good papers. First, make a collection of all the papers and see how they have worked, which framework they have used, what they have used. Then you will get the clues and the questions are you have asked. I will try to cover step by step what they should do, how they should plan the review, how they should actually I have your answer is in my slides. Uh, First we plan the review, then we conduct the review, and then we report the review. And in a brief, I will try to elaborate how to plan the things, how to develop protocols, how to actually run search queries on the Scopus or Web of Science, and some of aspects that have never been touched in workshops. I will try to cover that. I hope, sir, this answers your question.
Sure.
Hmm, yeah. Any other questions, sir?
No, Sevar, you may start, please.
Okay. Welcome back. We will start from how to plan the review because basically, when I was new, we start a review, we have an idea, and we start actually doing the review. But that is a naive approach. In this section, I will try to give you everything what needs to be done in planning phase, what needs to be done in conducting phase, and in reporting phase. We will try to elaborate the main problems where researcher face. So first, planning the problems. Planning the review. Every review starts with formulating the research problems. Why you are doing the literature review? Literature review are research queries, and for research queries you should have research questions. Research questions basically derive the literature review process, what you are going to do in that reviewer. But common mistakes everybody do. Everybody, when we are young, novice, but everybody do. They have two broad research questions. Like somebody starts research on social media marketing on a very broad topic. There may be thousands of paper on that. Okay, so it is never, firstly you have to check whether the main area you are targeting is feasible or not. Why? Because if you selected too broad area or too broad research questions, you have a huge amount of data and your review will be unmanageable. Even your softwares biblioshiny will not take the data. If you have a more than 5,000 document, even 4,000 documents, it will create the problems. And how you are going to report descriptives? You are not going to do manual for it. I think management guys are not too much good in coding. They will develop code for that. Some may have a solution, but it is a typical So solution is narrow down your original research. Always try to narrow down your research. Choose a subtopic within original area for the review. How we do it actually? When you set the research reviews, whenever you set the research questions, you try to set the research questions in a one shot process. It is not a one shot process, it is an iterative process. Iterations, iterations means you read some papers, you have idea, yeah, I can do that. You read another 20 papers, you have idea, I can make a better. You have another 20 papers, you have an idea. It is a iterative process, it is not a one shot process. It is like, I have most of have heard the concept of kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. It is a Japanese word. It means continuous improvement. Your research questions are like iterative. You do one day after 10 or 20 days with your reviews, or 30 days with your reviews, then you have an idea. This framework can be fit. We can integrate in this manner. This can be the research questions. Okay, like in some research there may be theories, constructs may be there, methods may be there, context will be missing. So these things comes with experience. When you more read, you have an idea. But Baratona has decided, Baratona et al. 2017 has, and please sorry if I misspell, but they have suggested pre-review mapping is always a good practice to identify the potential subtopics. They said before actually deciding the review, before actually conducting the review, please do a quick mapping. How to do quick mapping, I will show you in Scopus. What is quick mapping? First, you read title and abstract of the literature you got. Suppose you have 500 papers, see the title and abstract, and try to find the subtopics within that. And within subtopics, try to see how much papers you have. How many papers you have? You have 100 papers in a sub area. You can do even a research paper on that. Why to basically pre-review mapping will help you deciding whether it is feasible to review the full material, or you should narrow down your area like that. Like now I will use the Scopus and try to show this in actual how we do these things. I hope you are able to see this Scopus. Like this is an area, machine learning and finance. I will show some rules to you regarding Scopus. Don't worry about it. This is just for the purpose. Machine learning and finance. How much records I get? I get, yes sir, I get 1606 documents. Now, is it possible 1600 is also a big task? Like for a person like me, 1600 is a big task. So I try, because I have some knowledge about machine learning. So I try a narrow area, deep learning and finance. Again I search. Now I have 427. Now this is the place. This is called this is a small application of quick mapping. First you decide you have an area. You read abstract, at least abstract and title of the paper. You will get an idea. You will get an glimpses that these may be subtopics, and then try to analyze how many papers are there in each area. If the main area has 100, 200, 300 papers, and you are sure you are able to complete it, you will read it, because it depends upon person to person or team to team how many papers they can read. If you decide you can do it, do it. If you are again like with 427 you are struggling, you think no, this is a not an this is again high work, so I again narrow down the area, deep learning and portfolio management. I'm not sure how many results I will get. 420 documents. If these are quality papers, I can go with even with that. If you have some value in that, you can go with it. This is the purpose of quick mapping. So in quick mapping, again, what are you doing? You basically narrow down your research area and find out the each papers, number of papers in each sub area. And if it is possible to review the full area, you can do with it. If it narrow down options are better, you can do. In marketing context, I will also show one example. Let it be artificial intelligence and marketing. Artificial intelligence. Okay, spellings are wrong. I am correcting it. Artificial intelligence and marketing, because most of the work in marketing is nowadays are related to applications of different artificial intelligence techniques. I have 2183 documents. This kind of work is doing, and if I show you one interesting thing, most of the work you see in 2020 you have 307 document, in 21 you have 189, and half year have passed. In 29 you have 210. So in the recent year it is a hot area. Now I can't do this because 2183 documents are very much for me. So I try a narrow segment of artificial intelligence. I go for blockchain and marketing. Now I have 172 records, and I think it is from 172 some screening will be there, and we will be left with 80 or 90 or 100 documents, and that is feasible. I can do that. So you have to decide before actually going the review. Please, this is an important step, because most of the reviewers select two broad topics, and they said bibliometric is a bad technique or SLR is a bad technique. Our paper does not get published with it. The idea is not with the technique. The idea is with the approach. So you have to change the attitude. Please, pre-review mapping is a prerequisite for any paper. Any paper, for any review paper, you have to do that quick mapping. And what are any questions, sir, till now?
No, it's very clear.
Okay. What are the common research objectives which every paper has? Every review paper we report in hybrid mostly. The first is identifying the publication trend in the fields of time, journals, author, disciplines, type of studies, and affiliation. Revealing how we do this for time, for publication trends in terms of time. We do chronological trend analysis. In the reporting part, I will show you what is chronological trend analysis and how we do it. For journals, we do journal quality analysis. We will also, I have shown you in earlier that also. For authors, there is author quality analysis. For discipline, there is another kind of analysis. For type of study, we make a table. For affiliations, there is affiliation analysis, revealing influential research studies in a particular field. How we reveal influential research studies in a field? For that, we have two kind of techniques. One is citation analysis, that every researcher knows what is citation, but again, when I will show you reporting, we will discuss each and every aspect. What is global citation, what is local citation, because most people are not aware about it. And another very important technique, and most people skip that technique, that is page rank analysis. Why page rank analysis necessary? Just try to elaborate, because I will give you whole idea about it. Page rank analysis, like citation analysis, is like a quantity analysis. Like Jagdish and Titman has a paper in 93. Obvious, they would have more citation than 2015 paper. Some paper that published in 2015 or 2016, they have edge, they have more citation because the paper is old. So citation is all based on quantity. It missed the concept of average citations or local citations, or how many papers have cited within a databases. In short, it misses the quality aspects. PageRank covers both. It will give some weightage to quantity, some weightage to quality. So PageRank analysis for finding a particular paper, in my eyes, is a better technique than your simple citation analysis. And PageRank analysis is not possible in BiblioShiny. That's why PageRank analysis may not be covered in most of the videos or most of the workshops. PageRank analysis is possible through GAPI. First, you prepare a file for .NET file. Remember, .NET file. You prepare a .NET file using BibExcel software. After making BibExcel software, you take that file to GAPI, and PageRank is calculated in GAPI. It is not possible in BiblioShiny. And another thing, GAPI, BibExcel, they all are open sources. You need not to worry about that. Okay, so second objective, revealing influential research studies in a field. For this, we have two options. Either we can go with citation analysis, or we can go with PageRank analysis. PageRank analysis always have an advantage because it gives proper weightage to quality and quantity also. So third is revealing the intellectual structure of a field. How there was evolution of a field, how research evolved. So for this, there are different kinds of technique. Mappings are there, different kinds of mappings are there. We will discuss when I will show you reporting part. Fourth, obvious core themes and emerging trajectories in a field. Core themes gives you an idea what were the basic themes on which your research was laid upon. Like, I was working on momentum investing. Momentum investing has a first article in 93. Until 2008, people were focusing on the only one method for portfolio formation that was given by Jagdish and Titman. We called it cross-sectional momentum. That is core theme. What happened in the recent years, especially after global financial crisis, subprime crisis, and even after COVID, what people have designed to modify the original method. They become emerging trajectories because the new methods that they have given, they are still, their robustness is not checked in many markets. So they are emerging trajectories, or you can say emerging trajectories give you an idea about research directions. Okay, so obvious last objective of always paper in gap in current literature and areas for future research. Apart from this, your paper will have different kind of objectives depending upon your type of paper. Like, I have this paper on financial well-being. I will try to show its objectives to you. What are its objectives? Some objectives can be common, which I have discussed with you. They are common objectives. Some may be specific objectives, like I am showing this paper. Yeah, like two objectives we have were common. What are the publication trends in FWB, financial well-being, in terms of top journals, authors, organization, and countries? What are the most influential? They are common. Next, what are the factors examined in relation to FWB, and what theories support the relationship? Means, in this paper, we have focused on different factors and theories, only on two things. What are the theories in financial well-being, and what are the factors used in financial well-being? So this was the unique. You can also have, if you are working on factors, you can give factors. You are working on theories, you are working on methods. That can be your objective. So but your objective should be clear, because if your objectives are clear, then you will be able to make your research protocol. It will give you a direction what you are going to do. What is some young researcher do? They never report objectives or research questions in their paper. And when you do this, it will put a negative impression on the reviewer, because research objectives are the first after quick mapping. Research objectives are the second important step in your review paper which you are going to face. So always try to give your research objectives or research questions, and also how you are going to uh, fulfill these objectives. Like for top journals, I will apply journal quality analysis. For author, I will apply author analysis. For most influential work, you know, I have told you page rank and citation is there. For factors, you have to do narrative work. Narrative work means there are no softwares for it. You have to manually look at the paper. These are the factors in it. You can make a Excel for it. In Excel, you can report the readings of the papers. This paper is related to factor. This is theory oriented papers. So you have to you have to work like that. You have to report objectives and how you are going to fulfill that objective. For detail, there is a very good paper by Satish sir. Satish sir is also doing a very good work in bibliometric and SLR. They have a paper in A category, International Journal of Consumer Affairs, Financial Literacy, a Systematic Review and Bibliometric Analysis. They have beautifully defined objectives in their paper. You can see their paper, very good, very well written paper. Okay, then is review protocol. What is the review protocol? Actually, in empirical studies, you have a research design. In review studies, you have a review protocol. But no one cares about review protocol, especially young researchers not know about review protocol. Even when I was doing my first paper, I nothing know about review protocol. What is review protocol? Review protocol is just like a plan which specify how your review will be conducted. It is basically it describes what is the purpose of your study, what will be the research questions, what will be the inclusion criteria, what is search strategies, what are the quality assessment criteria, screening procedure, what will be the strategy for data extraction, summarizing, how you are going to report everything. It covers everything, but it is a plan, and always it is better to make a review protocol. And along with review protocol, please make a timetable. You are going to spend how much time on quick mapping, on purposes, on research question, on inclusion, for everything. Please make it is a good practice to make a project timetable, because you have to complete. If you have started a paper, like your first paper is SLR, although it is a painful process, but you have to complete it in time, at least in 4 or 5 months you have to complete that. And it is always a good practice to validate the your review protocol. You can, if some experts are there on your field, you can take the view of external review panels, whether my objectives are good or not, whether inclusion criteria is okay, search strategies are okay. If somebody has knowledge of your field, you can go with that. That is always a good practice. If you follow some the guidelines of the expert, expert validation is a good practice before actually going into the main review. So second part, after review protocol, any questions are this till this point? Because planning phase is over. Now we will focus on conducting phase.
Please go ahead. No questions.
Okay. So now conducting. Actually, when we are conducting the research, first step is always search strategy. In search strategy, we will always choose the search approach. Major search approach are keyword searching. As you know, you are doing keyword searching a lot, but for keyword searching, I will stress many points, many things, because keywords are the main. Don't take it lightly. Um, Sometimes I get an inquiry, sir, my keywords are like interactive marketing. My keywords are interactive marketing, just interactive marketing, are these are my two keywords. These are not the ways. What are you going to do in interactive marketing? Is there are any synonyms for interactive marketing? So what is the good strategy? Because actually deciding the keyword, it is good because Google Scholar is a free database. You can go on Google Scholar, search interactive marketing through Publish and Perish. Publish and Perish is also a open source free software, very good software. For your for your actually deciding the actual keyword, you can go with Publish and Perish. Publish and Perish will give you all the research results on Google Scholar on a particular research query. See the title and abstract, and see papers have used what kind of keywords before actually running the queries. It is always a good practice to do pilot testing. It is some sort of pilot testing. Uh, there are backward referencing and forward referencing. We have covered this, but little bit clue about it. In backward referencing, you have a recent paper like 21 paper, someone good 21 paper is there. You will see that 21 paper has cited how many papers, because he have cited all the previous good papers. Okay, you see whether those papers are there in your data set or not. Forward referencing is you have a very well established in paper in your field. You see that paper, and you see how many people have cited your paper, and you go with that. How to do forward and backward referencing, I will show you in Scopus. Like I select a paper. I will show you forward referencing. Now I have the paper. This is the paper that is cited by, let it be 106 persons. Now I will see these 106 papers. Who have cited this paper? Who have cited this this paper? I will see. Okay. Now I have 106 paper. If these papers are there in my data set, then it is okay. If these papers are not in my data set, I can select these papers. Okay. So it is good practice not rely only on keyword searching, because young researcher mostly do this mistake. They rely only on keyword searching. It is better to go with both keyword searching and at least with forward referencing. Backward referencing you may can miss, but forward referencing is compulsory. You have to go with these approaches. And even in my papers I have used both. In some papers I have used keyword and forward referencing. In some papers I have used three approach: keyword, backward and forward, all three approach. And before final search, as I have decided, I will tell you three things. First is pilot searching on Google Scholar. As I have told, please on Google Scholar, before actually deciding your keyword, running queries on Scopus, because on Scopus before actually running the queries, do some pilot searching. Have your queries on Publish and Perish, and see the common keywords. Then sometimes you have to divide the keywords into groups. Like you are working on adoption of blockchain in finance. In this case, three groups will be there. How three groups will be there? Adoption of blockchain in finance. Adoption may have many synonyms like motivating factors, intention to use. Okay, so one group of keywords related to adoption. Okay, second, adoption of blockchain. Blockchain may have many keywords. Blockchain is there, smart contracts is there, other keywords are there, many synonyms are there. Similarly, finance has many keywords. Finance has many synonyms: finance, financial markets, financial technologies, fintech. There are too many. So you have to divide the keywords. Like you are working on machine learning in marketing. Sir, can you cooperate with me? Hello?
Yes, please.
I need your support, sir, on this. Please
Sure.
try to understand the concept. Machine learning in marketing. How many groups I should have of keywords?
Okay. So marketing got a very wide domain. What is marketing?
Okay.
One can be sales and distribution management. One can be advertisement. One can be
Okay.
related to the salesperson. One can be
Okay.
the communication part of marketing, the distribution
Okay.
part of the marketing, the customer
Okay.
perspective, the supply chain perspective. It
Okay.
can be,
Okay. Okay.
marketing is very wide term. You need to narrow it down.
Okay. Like machine learning in digital advertisement. How many groups I should have? How many
Yes.
group of keywords I should have?
Right. So in the digital advertisement, again, it can be internet advertisement, it can be
Mhm.
mobile advertisement, e-advertisement, internet
Okay.
communication. That is, so all things related to like communication and advertisement, they are just like synonymous, except. And
Yeah.
then digital, internet, mobile, that these are the synonyms. So various combinations we need to use.
Okay. Basically, I think two groups will be sufficient. One group
Right.
related to digital advertisement and one group related to machine learning, like
Right.
supervised deep learning. So deciding the group of keyword, that is important. Like I show you practical example. In my first paper, it was suggested by reviewers. Reviewers has shown me many papers because like most of the guys, honestly, I was struggling this paper. I struggled a lot with this paper. Like this paper, it was on momentum investing. For I divide my keywords into two groups. One is keywords related to momentum investing, like momentum effect, cross-sectional effect, 52-week high, time series. These are different types of momentum. And one group of keywords related to financial markets, like financial assets, equity markets, emerging markets, international markets, bonds, commodities. Like you have to decide. It is not every time you need to create groups. Like you are working on a very new term that is a single term, like you are working on mobile payments, you are working on that. For that, one group will be sufficient. You are working, if you are only working on mobile payment, yeah, if you are working on adoption of mobile payments, then there will be two group of keywords. One group of keywords will be related to adoption related keywords and other will be related to mobile payment keywords. So that grouping is important. Why that grouping is important? Because when actually you do research in Scopus, you do search in Scopus with the help of Boolean and proximity operators. For that, we have to make the groups. And every time groups are not necessary. This is not the case. Every time you have to make. Sometimes in a single group you can cover all. Sometimes you need two groups. Sometimes you need three groups. Okay, so this group making is an important aspect. Why I am telling you this? Because I have seen, if you have skipped a single keyword, it can affect your data set. And it is all the in review papers, the game is all about data set. Because if your data set is incomplete, then someone may argue you have skipped some important papers. And when the reviewer ask this, comments came, your full data set change. So this is important, deciding the group of keyword. And it is always better to go for expert validation of keywords. If someone experts are there in your field, you can go with the expert, show them the keywords. If they said okay, you can go with the keywords. So keywords are important. Next is choosing the information source. There are two types of databases for bibliometric or systematic studies. One are commercial databases, they are subscription based, like we have Scopus, we have Web of Science, we have Avesco. Other is free database. We have Google Scholar, Microsoft Academy, PubMed is there. But the problem with free databases is that, honestly, your paper are not published, because if you take data from Google Scholar, there will be comments on quality parameters, because Google Scholar there are many papers that has zero value, or they are from very low tier journals, or paid journals are there, so questions will be doubted. And for Microsoft Academy, there will most of the software does not support this, like Biblioshiny does not support the data from Microsoft Academy. Vivexcel don't support. How you are going to do? PubMed is okay, but PubMed is particularly for medicines, not for management. Some papers are there, interdisciplinary papers are there, but for pure and it is not. For in common practices, you can go for Scopus. In some studies, there are strong basis for Scopus, because Scopus covers a lot of data of management. Web of Science is a good option. Avasco is also a good option, but it is always better, as I have earlier told you, to take data from two databases. One is Scopus, other is Web of Science. Why Scopus and Web of Science? Because some studies have mentioned that, very high quality studies, I have mentioned in one of paper, my Scopus and Web of Science cover 95% of management literature. So you have a strong justification for it. If you go for only Scopus, the problem is that somebody may comment, Scopus covers 65% of data, 30% of literature is missing, then you don't have answer. If you are going with only Web of Science, answer will be 50% data coverage is there. Why you are going with only Web of Science? So if you take both of the databases, Scopus and Web of Science, your 95% literature will cover. And in Biblioshiny, although there is not a way to combine these two databases, but I will send you the codes if someone needs how to combine Scopus and Web of Science databases. Actually, what is the problem? Some records are also there in Scopus and they are also in Web of Science. So duplicate records is a problem. And to eliminate duplicate problem, if you do manually, it is a very hectic task. But Biblioshiny does not has a command for it, but Bibliometrics package has commands for it. In new version, authors has you can do it manually. I will send you. It is a just 4 or 5 lines code, not a big code. I will send you that code. You can combine Scopus and Web of Science database. Then you do all that. Don't, my suggestion is that if you are going for a high tier journal, don't go with single Scopus, don't go with Web of Science. Take both the databases, Scopus and Web of Science. Scopus, you know, Scopus covers near about 36,000, more around 36,000 titles, and many publishers are there. Scopus is the largest abstract and citation database. Web of Science and Scopus, as I have told, they are both good, and try to get data from both Scopus and Web of Science. Any query till this point? Sir, any query till this point?
It's very much clear. So we can have a separate video, a small video about how to merge the two Web of Science and Scopus.
Okay.
Because,
We will do.
I know that there will be
Yeah, we will do. It will be a 5
so
or
you
10
start
minutes
the
video only. Yeah, we will do that. We will do how to do it in Bibliometrics using R. We will do, sir, that we will also do. Next is
sure.
important part.
The next one.
Okay, sir. Okay. Next, the important part is search keywords and search fields. Actually, it is a practical part, because what I have seen, most of the people rely only on Boolean operators and or and not. They don't use wildcards. Wildcard means question mark, asterisk. They don't use wildcards. That is the biggest lack. And People never use proximity operators. Especially young researchers don't know what are proximity operators. Sometimes proximity operators can work for you. They can give better results to you. So I will show to you every type of operator, Boolean operator, proximity operators, and wildcard, how to use this. First, what are wildcards? Wildcards, first wildcard is a question mark. We use question mark to substitute a single character, like globalization. In British English, globalization, for globalization, Z is used. For American, I think S is used. I maybe reverse the things. So instead of this, at the part where Z and S is there, you can put question mark. What it will do, it will search globalization using Z and using S both. If you do this. Similarly, asterisk is there. Asterisk is there for common words. For the words that has a common word root, like manage. You want all the papers you want that has a key that has a title, in a title, manager, manage, management, or managing. You can use manage, and then you can use a asterisk. That is a good practice. Similarly, brackets are used to specify the order of equation. We will also do it on Scopus, like university or college, and student and attitude. Like what it will do, if there is a university or college, any word is there, and it will try to integrate it with students and attitude. It will try to find, basically brackets specify the orders. Scopus always work from left to right. First it will see whether university or college is there in abstract or not. Then it will try university and college should be there, any of keywords should be there, and attitude or student should also be there. Student should also be there, attitude should also be there. It will select only those paper. If you are trying to search for a para only, phrase only, you can do it with quotations. Like because this is my personal experience, when I was doing research on momentum investing, sometimes in initial days when I was using Scopus, I just use like this momentum. I never use brackets that time. Momentum investing. What happened at that time, it gives me many records related to physics, because word momentum is also used in physics. It gives me many record related to engineering. It is dealing it as momentum and investing. It is also good, but I want both words together, so you can put it in brackets. Okay, so and so you can do it, you can do like it. Okay, so brackets are used for phrases, for like solar energy, computer assisted instructions, sales and distribution management. You can use it for brackets. These are called wildcards. You have to see how to use. And groups, I have told you groups are important. How to actually use the groups? You can use the groups for full query. Actually, when you are in earlier days, how you research momentum investing and financial markets. Momentum investing and financial markets. This was the way we earlier, when we are in starting days, we earlier do research in this kind. 6 records are generated, we used to save these records and make a master list of this. But it is a very complicated work. It is always better, like I need some words related to momentum investing. I have many keywords because I have worked on it. Momentum investing or momentum anomaly, or momentum investing is there, momentum anomaly is there, time series momentum, or cross-sectional momentum. But please put, if you are using phrases, please put brackets. If you have skipped any brackets, results would not produced. So brackets are very important. Cross-sectional momentum. Then I am saving. This is one group. Second group is for me like financial markets, all words related to finance. Financial markets.
Simar,
Yes, sir.
you have skipped double quotes after cross-sectional momentum. Double quotes are left out.
Okay. Yeah, that good point, sir. Otherwise, the results will not be produced. Yeah, that is a good. Financial markets.
Mistakenly, you said bracket instead of double quotes. Maybe you are specifying double quotes. You called it.
Yeah. Finance, uh, and finance, financial markets, international markets, stocks, bracket. Now see, because we are basically covering two types of keywords, two groups of keywords. One is related to momentum and other is related to financial markets. So we should have a bracket at starting and bracket at the end. Bracket at the end. Let me check. All are in quotations. Yeah. Now I can go. I can see my results. Yeah. Now I have 105 documents. So, but my message is there. My message is there. Always do not run a single query for every time. Make a queries, divide your keywords into group and try to run the results in a single string, in a single research query, because we have for replicable purposes, I need also this query. I will also mention this query in the paper also. In the paper, sometimes some journals demand that please give me your research, please give me your search query. If you are giving keywords and multiple queries, they will say you have not done work in a professional manner. That is the issue. So you have to run the queries like this. Divide your words into keywords, use proper wildcards, quotations, everything. Put everything in proper manner. My purpose of showing you this exercise is that try to do your search in a single query, not run multiple queries. Like when I was doing my first paper, what was the main problem? I do first momentum investing and financial markets, momentum investing and Indian stock market and Chinese stock market, and we have small list. Then we make a master list. Why to do this kind of work? Run a single query. Now I have results and I will save it. That is the main issue. And other things in this corpus what are important, what I want to show is that always, like I know my fields are related to subject fields are related to economics, econometrics and finance, and business management and accounting. These are two areas with which my research falls. Always search your subject criteria, subject areas. Like you are not a computer science, I am not a computer science researcher, so I don't cover this computer science. And I will also mention this in my inclusion criteria, that I have inclusion exclusion criteria, that I have focused only on economics, econometrics and finance category, or business management and accounting category. It is compulsory, you have to do, because if you have done a computer science, then you should have a strong justification for it. If you are doing interdisciplinary work, then you can go for multiple works. Like if I am working in blockchain in finance, then computer science may play a role, computer science should be selected. But in this kind, this is a core finance kind of work. In this kind, computer science has minimum role, so I have not selected computer science. Similarly, always focus on research articles only if you are doing papers. And you have to focus. Hello sir, you have to focus
Yes,
only on everything okay sir?
yeah, everything okay.
Okay. And you have to focus on journals only. You don't need to cover gray literature. What is gray literature? Gray literature is books, conference proceedings, or other kind of unpublished work. You don't need to focus it. Why you don't need to focus it? This is just for quality assessments. These are quality parameter. For quality aspects, we focus only on peer-reviewed papers. And for language, if you are comfortable, you know other language, it is good. And it is always preferred to know other language, but most of the literature is available in English, and some paper have a justification for English also, so don't need to worry about it. And then now I will limit only to these papers. Like I will just need journals paper that related to economics and finance. These are some criteria, inclusion and exclusion. Now I left with 85 records. Okay, so this is the how to. Yes sir, yes sir.
Can you go back to that page of Scopus?
Okay, I am going sir. Yes sir.
Here, instead of in the first section, first group of query, instead of momentum investing, momentum anomaly, etc., can we write momentum space and asterisk star?
No, actually sir, that is not a single word na. That is called, like, globalization is a full word. There we can, instead of okay, you are like kind of, okay, star, you are kind asterisk, you are na star. No sir, that word should be complete. Like management is a complete word, manager is a complete word. Like root of the word is same. Momentum and investing are two different words. Okay, yeah, that we cannot do for it. Yeah, for like we are working, like many guys work on operations management or operation managers, they can use operations and management asterisk, manage asterisk. They can use these kinds of things, like sales and distribution management. Blockchain in sales and distribution manage, then they can put asterisk. Or star, what you see, then we can use that. Yeah, but in some researches wildcard is necessary, but people avoid it. You should have a knowledge of wildcard. Okay, clear sir? It is clear sir? Okay, so after like I show you proper use of keywords, use of quotation marks, use of and or, I have shown you use of brackets, how to select keywords and synonyms, I have shown you. And this is Boolean operators. What is Boolean operators? You know this more stuff, like or means both will be covered, and means common will be covered, Not means you know these kind of Boolean operators, and as I have told, most databases go from left to right. Okay, and this is the important thing. Proximity operators. People know Boolean operators. They don't know wildcards, and they don't know proximity operators. Why proximity operators are compulsory? Like momentum anomaly, always we assumed momentum anomaly will come together, but it is not necessary. But if you put momentum anomaly, but Scopus will try to find momentum anomaly together. But if somebody has used like momentum and anomaly after 5 words of it, then simple Boolean operators will not work. Then you should use proximity operators. Like for proximity operators, like for Scopus, we use pre or wn. Pre-n means pre-3 means like I am using solar energy, solar pre-3 energy. The word solar precede the word energy by 3 or more fewer words. You can set your own limit. You can set pre-5, you can set pre-6, you can set pre-8. Like we will do that. Okay, I am again using this Scopus. And this is the thing which I myself has recently learned. I was attending a session from Scopus guys, and they introduced this thing. Even I was not aware about this. This is an interesting thing, like momentum anomaly. First we will singly go with momentum anomaly. Momentum anomaly. And I will note how many results are there. For 57 results are there. Now I will use a proximity operator, then I will try to use this momentum. Momentum pre-5, let it be. I have 197 documents now. And guys, believe me, I am also, I have not planned anything. I am doing it spontaneously. You can see the results. And now you can see the power of proximity operators. If you have not used the proximity operators, you can omit many articles. That's why when I see these things, I was also wondered, this is an interesting thing, and I have never seen this. So similarly, there are other proximity operators, like for Web of Science, you use near n instead of pre n. Near n we use. We can also use, like if gap is more, we use wn. These are some proximity operators, and try to use this. Like I have showed you, this can seriously change your results. If I go with single momentum anomaly, I got only 57, I think. I go with proximity operators, I have 194. I think it is greater than 3.5 times greater results. So it is good practice. Go for practice for proximity operators, and I will also try to find another proximity operators, because Scopus has recently added some other proximity operators that come in advanced searches, and we will try to cover that also if I get this. Sir, are you clear about proximity operators?
Perfectly.
Because this is first time I am telling about someone about proximity operators. Even on phone call, on LinkedIn, I have never shared this. Are you shared? Are you sure? Are you got this?
Absolutely.
Okay. And sir, you see the importance of it, na? It is
Absolutely.
important. Yeah. So researchers, please, proximity operators, please take care about it for proximity operators. And these are some ways, like I like this paper very much. This is a very good paper by Paul, not by Paul, I forget the name of the author. The paper is Internationalization and Risk Literature Review, Integrated Framework and Research Agenda. See how beautifully they have maintained their search diary, and like they have given the information about databases, scope and number of entries. This is the way to present paper, and this is what high tier journals expect from you. Clear search queries, not like that I short queries. I have run this 20 queries, they said it is a novice guy, it is not fit for high tier. In high tier you have to do like this. Like for internationalization, they have used wildcard question mark. For uncertainty, they have used like uncertainty has a many keyword related to it, and so they have used asterisk for it. Try to use this in that manner. This is a very good practice to maintain a search diary, how many records you get at each stage. And this is also a very good paper, Green Supply Chain Management, a review and bibliometric analysis, one of the bibliometric analysis that have highest citation, that is by Zhu et al. Very good paper. Try to report the things in this manner, and always determine the restrictions, as I have told you, what type of documents you are going to select, what research domains you are going to follow, what time span you are going to follow, and apply proper filters, and decide whether you are going with standalone of keywords or you are using combination of keywords. Like this, I have shown you all this. And other thing, I think this thing, you know how to get the results from Scopus, but again I am covering from your like now I want to export these results. I can export these results, but remember, sometimes like this all options are not ticked. Please checked all the options, we need all the options, and try to export the file at least in 3 formats: in bibtex, in CSV, in .ris format. Why I am stressing on 3 formats? Like for BiblioShiny, you will do your most work on BiblioShiny. For BiblioShiny, bibtex and CSV is needed. You can work with bibtex, you can work with CSV, but as I have told you, PageRank is also an important technique. PageRank does not work on PageRank does not, BiblioShiny currently does not have any option for PageRank of papers, top papers based on PageRank. So for PageRank, we have to use BibExcel. For BibExcel, we need classical format of Scopus, that is RIS format. So we also need in RIS format. For both viewer, CSV format is okay. So try to export your file in 3 formats: bibtex, CSV and RIS. And if you are working on Web of Science, one option is okay, TXT format is okay. TXT format will fulfill your purpose, no other you need. Now, important aspect. Step 2 in conducting the review: inclusion, exclusion criteria and screening. I will talk about each and every aspect. First, avoid gray literature. Try to avoid gray literature. As I have told you, try to avoid conference proceedings, try to avoid books, try to avoid book chapters, try to avoid unpublished theses. Try to avoid this is due to quality aspects. If you follow this, but some conferences proceedings are very well, very established. Like I know, I don't have done much work in education, but I know ACM conference proceedings are have a good name in education. If you have justification for that conference proceedings, you can go for it also, if you have justification for it. Similarly, Paired reviewed research articles, as I have showed, if we are avoiding gray literature, it means you will go with peer reviewed research articles only. And subject categories should be selected very carefully, as I have told you on momentum investing, that is related to core finance. I have selected economics, econometrics and finance, and business accounting, and that. I have not selected computer. But when I am working in machine learning in finance, computer may have valuable paper in that. Then I need to select computers for it. Subject categories are important. Quality assessments. This is an important criteria on which many SLRs have some doubts. If you go with all Scopus documents, some may doubt on your quality aspect. Then what you can do? You can do for you can for bibliometric, for descriptive, you can take entire document, because you need not to study all the documents. But for actual content analysis, or for actual review, or for SLR purposes, you can go with only quality papers. Like some quality criteria, select only A and A star paper, or select only those paper that has a ABS, that has a rating of ABS 3, ABS minimum, ABS 3, ABS 3, ABS 4 and 4 star. You can use Scopus Q1 only. Like in my first paper, in my every paper almost we have do this. We have done the bibliometric for I think 532 research papers, I have clearly mentioned. But for content analysis, because this is the work which softwares have done, I have nothing to do this with it. But for actual content analysis, what we have do, we have selected only ABDC, A star and A category journals, and we have strong reasons for it, because many researchers has already do this. And many of finance journals, big finance journals, are covered in A star and A category. Why I don't go with ABS in these paper? I saw many of my A category papers, very good papers like Journal of Banking and Finance, was not there at that time in ABS 3. It was in lower ABS. So you have to decide your criteria, and there is a good justification for ABDC and ABS. Even for Scopus Q1 you can go, and you can see for actual review I have used only 172 research papers. I have not reviewed 532 research papers. I have reviewed only 172 research papers. So you can go with quality assessments. Even you should go. Everyone do this. Then there is initial screening. What is initial screening? Initial screening is you read title and abstract of each paper, and if you feel title and abstract is okay, then you go with that. If you see title, then you select the paper that fit your criteria. That paper does not fit your criteria, you reject those paper. Then there is forward and backward referencing. As I have told you, you can do this and report results at each stage. Like this, in one paper, you can do this like this. Reporting is an important part, like this. It is somewhat expired from Prisma. This is not my framework. Like at each stage, at an initial stage, we get 591 records. Then we eliminate 200 articles through initial screening. Then we read full text articles, and we left with 166 papers. Then we do snowball search. Snowball search is another name for forward and backward referencing. It is not a new term, fancy word, fancy way of saying forward and backward referencing. We do snowball search and we find another 13 paper, and finally we have 238 research papers. You can also do report at each stage how many papers you get, because what big journals do, they replicate your process. They will match this. They have softwares to do this. Okay, they are more intelligent than us. So try to do this. So, sir, I think we should close this session. And for reporting, we will separately make the video, or we can cover it along with this.
We should make it a separate video of that.
Okay, okay, okay. Any questions, sir?
No, it's very much clear, very much thoroughly clear.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Again, every type of criticism is welcome. Please comment. Like,
Sure.
dislike, what you like.
Thank you, Siva.